Alright.
Hedonism, sexual decay, dirty to do nothing but slowly break down the society, etc. It's fucking everywhere. No way to escape it. 99% of people are part of it, and whatever I do, I am confronted with the death of the West. Go to the store and buy groceries in peace? Nope. Here's a group of LGBT liberal filth in line with you. And there's a family with 10 kids over there. And a Finn too, but he's overweight as fuck and he's buying alcohol and shit junk food. Fucking fantastic. I used to think that this was a phase and we'd get over it. But I have now come to realize that I was born into a literal dystopia.
He said the N-word
Bill was
twice.
eventually banned on YouTube, being fairly certain that he was shut down by the Jews, not for his mountain of community guideline violations.
All my videos got me permanently fucking banned in the European Union and shit. So every single video I upload, no matter how innocent and shit, gets me a legal complaint from the following countries: Austria, Switzerland, Czech Republic, Guinea, France, French Guinea or whatever the fuck, Guadeloupe, Israel, I wonder why, Italy, Martinique, whatever the fuck, hold on. You got here at a bad time because like 90% of my videos are gone at least. Like I had 200 videos at my peak earlier this year and shit. Whatever.
He began playing a game called Blockland.us, a Minecraft type game. There he had over 40 different characters, most edgy or offensive in one way or another. He even had a character that he modeled after Elliot Rodger, along with some made to look like other killers, such as Sung Hui Cho and Adam Lanza. In November of 2017, he spoke online of being sexually abused by a man who had given him a ride while he was hitchhiking and mentioned his guilt at having had enjoyed it. It's unknown if this actually happened or if he was simply trolling once again. Given the wording of the message, it doesn't seem like he's taking it very seriously, but it's hard to tell. That same month, now 21 years old, Bill went out with his father to buy a gun. They went out to the Sportsman's Warehouse in Farmington, where he legally purchased a 9mm semi-automatic Glock handgun along with a .22 caliber rifle. After he bought the gun, his concerned father jokingly told him to never point it at anyone, even telling him, never do a school shooting. Bill responded that he knew that he would never do something like that. Either way, his father was worried because of his concerning online activity. By now, he could hear both of his sons listening to constant white supremacist content and told them to, quote, stop listening to that shit. Shortly after, Bill and his brother took the two guns out to test them out. It wasn't long before Bill finally expressed his clear intention to perform a school shooting while dressed up as a student for the first time online. Bill began to go back to his old high school, Aztec High School, to do some surveillance around the property. He was even given a full tour by one of the teachers. He began to play some video games that he felt could better prepare him for doing what he was about to do. Shortly after, while working at the gas station, a couple of police officers actually came into casual conversation with him, saying that they felt nothing out of the ordinary with him. That same day, though, Bill took to Kiwi Farms to write his final message online. Praise be to Allah, trolling until the very end. December 7th, 2017. Bill, usually working overnight shifts, came home at about 6 a.m. His father was sitting around when Bill entered their home. The two started talking, with the father asking how Bill was doing. He said bad because work sucks. He hated both the job and the customers, specifically noting that nobody but crackheads go to the shop overnight. He refused to speak any more beyond that, simply shaking his head and going up to his room. Bill's father didn't see him again, feeling that he probably just fell asleep as usual. Bill, in his room, wrote out his plans. He wrote a text file and put it onto a thumb drive. It read,
if things go according to plan, today would be when I die. I go somewhere and gear up, then hold a class hostage and go apeshit, then blow my brains out. Work sucks, school sucks, life sucks. I just want out of this shit. Fuck this state, it really is bad. Think I'm insane? I'm actually more rational, peaceful, and less loony than a majority of the citizenry of this entire region.
Bill then began to write out his plans, which weren't too sophisticated. The plans consisted of a rough timeline, consisting of things like work, prep, walk, and finally, die. He tore up that piece of paper, instead writing the same timeline and putting it on his thumb drive after. He collected all of the gear that he had amassed over a short time and got ready. At 7:30 a.m., without his father noticing, Bill left his house and began to walk towards the school. He walked over from Yemez Street and onto East Zaya Street, out into the parking lot, and then entered the school. This was caught on security camera footage, although there was no footage of the interior of the school. Bill entered through the main doors disguised as a student. He was carrying a backpack like any other kid, although his contained his Glock along with several magazines. Now that he was inside, Bill needed somewhere to gear up. He walked up the stairs and into one of the bathrooms on the second floor to take out his gun and get ready. This was when a student, Francisco Fernandez, who others called Paco, walked in on him and caught him in the act. Bill panicked, likely knowing that Francisco would run away and alert the school. He shot him then and there, with Francisco falling flat onto his back onto the floor of the bathroom. Bill stepped over him and headed back out into the hallways. In the hallways, he came across a 17-year-old cheerleader named Casey Marquez taking a drink at the water fountain just outside the bathrooms. He shot her close range multiple times in the thigh, stomach, chest, and even her head. She collapsed to the ground in the fetal position. Both a teacher named Steve Lanier and a custodian named Thomas Emery Hill saw it happen with their own eyes. Thomas ran away, shouting about an active shooter, yelling at the teachers to lock their doors. Many of the teachers did so, with one 74-year-old substitute teacher even barricading the door with a couch. Bill walked up and down the halls, firing shots indiscriminately at nothing in particular and reloading multiple times. He walked up to different classrooms, shouting, "I know you're in there," and firing through the walls. Luckily, nobody was hit. Thomas, the custodian, was able to radio the office and get the whole school into lockdown. It was now 8:11 a.m., roughly 10 minutes into the attack, and the police were finally called. Bill continued to walk up and down the hallways, yelling and firing random shots through the walls. The police arrived at the school less than a minute after the call and broke through a window to gain access. Bill gave up. He put the gun into his mouth and fired upwards. He fell back against some lockers and then onto the floor. He was gone before the police even got to him. Many of the students within the school still had no idea what was happening as it all started and ended so quickly. A lot of them thought that someone was merely going around screaming and punching lockers. Once the police confirmed that everything was all over, the students were finally allowed to leave. They walked out through the back of the building and into the parking lot. They were later moved to McGee.
He forced his son to exercise the devil. Wait,
because when she
what?
looks at that ring, she's gonna see you.
When a father, an ex-football player, demanded his 6-year-old son lose some fat and shape up, he forced him to run on a treadmill. This run was so over the top and so much more than the boy could handle that there was no coming back from it.
I saw you.
tragic story of a child who was forced to run on a treadmill by his father, who said he had gotten too fat. But we won't really get the whole scope of the story unless we talk about his parents and his upbringing first. First off, let's start out by talking about his father. Christopher Gregor seemed like he was on the road to a pretty bright future. In fact, all the way up to high school, he was a somewhat model student. When he attended the Monroe Township High School, he even became an honor student and played on the school's football team. He played as an all-state defensive lineman for the school's 2009 state championship team, according to some now-deleted archives from the school's website. In high school, Christopher was even picked up to be one of the school district's few representatives in the Heroes and Cool Kids program, a program where high school students who were considered to be stand-up role models would mentor middle school students. After high school, Christopher moved on to Wesleyan University, a liberal arts school on the smaller side out in Middleton, Connecticut. This is where he would have his first known brush with the law that very year. He broke into a female student's dorm room and stole from her. When he attempted to flee the scene, two other male students tried to stop him, leading to him punching them and elbowing them in the face.
Damn.
Eventually, though, Christopher did go on to graduate somewhere else. At the University of Arizona, an online school that used to be called Ashford University. After that, he would make his move to get a master's degree in secondary education and teaching at the Johns Hopkins University School of Education, having him move out to Baltimore. While in Baltimore, Christopher would go on to rack up quite a little list of charges against him, most of which consisted of charges related to assault, robbery, and destruction of property. However, these were far from the worst crime that Christopher committed. The worst was yet to be documented. Christopher had actually forced himself on a 16-year-old girl when he was 21 years old. To add insult to injury, he was completely unaware that he had gotten this girl pregnant.
Oh my
The trauma
god.
from this attack would lead the girl, Brianna Micciolo, down a pretty dark path. After giving birth to her son, which she named Corey, she would turn to drugs, mainly meth, to help deal with the trauma of what had happened to her. After a few years and being pretty deep in the hole from her drug habit, Brianna decided to reach out to Christopher and tell him that he had a son, hoping to get some child support out of it. Willingly bringing a guy like Christopher back into her life in any shape or form would prove to be the biggest mistake she had ever made. In 2018, when Corey was 4 years old, Christopher came to know of his existence for the very first time. Christopher was currently still in Baltimore, still trying to get his master's degree. A paternity test was conducted, and it was shown that Corey was indeed his son. What Brianna didn't predict would be that Christopher and his family would immediately demand custody of Corey and take him into their home. It wasn't hard to do, given Brianna's drug habit, as she not only lost custody, but even her visitation rights as well over time. For the next several years, Christopher would go on to hop around from job to job. These jobs took him everywhere from Florida to New Jersey to Maryland, as he worked as everything from a teacher to a realtor to a salesman for the NHL's Tampa Bay Lightning, and even a damn crisis hotline counselor. While he officially listed himself as being a real estate agent, it seemed that he actually settled on being a teacher. While Christopher would be teaching, his parents would tend to Corey during the day, take him back and forth to the bus stop, and help him with homework. He went to rehab and reportedly got clean from drugs. From that point onward, she seems to have regained visitation as she did start seeing her son again. She saw a lot of warning signs. One day, he came home to visit her with a busted lip. Christopher said that it had happened while playing soccer, which seemed like a fair enough answer, but it didn't end there. Text messages between Christopher and Brianna show that, at the very least, Corey's safety wasn't much of a concern for Christopher. At one point, Corey was left crying after his father smacked a football out of his hand, saying that it happened after asking him about his football days. Christopher said, in the text, "Well, that's a lie. I smacked the ball out of his hand and he didn't say a word to me, acting as if Corey wasn't even hurt, but then coming to say, maybe he needs to be a little tougher because that's soft tissue." Christopher and Brianna would come to be embroiled in a custody battle. Brianna even begged CPS to come and take Corey away from him. She told the New Jersey Child Protective Services that Corey was coming home with bruises and even that Christopher was forcing him to run on the treadmill as punishment, but nothing was done. Christopher had his own side to the story, saying that Brianna was nothing but a lying drug addict. He even had a story about how he was once arrested for probation after Brianna and her family planted marijuana on him. It was during this battle that everything really went past the point of no return. March 20th, 2021. Christopher took Corey out to the Atlantic Heights Clubhouse Fitness Center, the gym attached to his apartment complex. Telling Corey, now 6 years old, that he was getting too fat, he demanded that he get on the treadmill.
He wasn't fat at all.
On the footage, Christopher is seen walking over to Corey as he runs alone on the treadmill. Christopher then leans in, turning up the speed on the machine. This is too much for Corey, causing him to trip and fall down, being thrown off the treadmill backwards towards his dad's feet. Christopher then picks Corey back up and puts him on the treadmill once again, increasing the speed even further as well as the incline. Corey then falls again and again as the speed and exhaustion is too much for him while Christopher merely watches over him. Eventually he lowers the speed so that Corey can run, but his frustration is very clear on the video. At one point in the video, it's said that he is even seen actually biting Corey on the head as some sort of bizarre punishment. In the end, Christopher leaves the gym, frustrated with Corey trailing behind him. Giving Christopher's expression, he almost seems surprised that Corey is even following him out. When Corey went to see his mother again on April 1st, she noticed the bruises all over his body, even on his face and forehead. She made another call to the New Jersey CPS that very morning, but nothing was done. She took Corey out to a pediatrician to have him evaluated, but the doctor found no serious health problems, only bruising and scrapes consistent with falling. Corey then told the doctor that his dad had been making him run on the treadmill because he was too fat. Brianna filed an emergency application for custody, fearing for Corey's safety, but it was rejected. The court said, "The court does not find that Corey is in danger of imminent and irreparable harm. Therefore, the court does not find a temporary modification of the parties' custody and parenting time arrangement appropriate at this time." Defeated, Brianna was left with no choice but to drop Corey back off at Christopher's apartment the next morning at 9 a.m., the morning of April 2nd, 2021. She would never see Corey again. At around 10 a.m., Christopher called a child services worker, furious, saying that Brianna had been coaching Corey into lying about him, with Corey supposedly telling him that directly. Over the phone, he said, "My son came back this morning and he was saying that his mom said that he had to tell the doctor that I hit him. He came home and one of the first two things he said was, 'I don't want to go with mom anymore. She's going to try to take me away from you.' And he also said, 'Mom told me to lie and I had to.' It isn't known what happened throughout the rest of the day until later in the afternoon. Shortly before 3 p.m., Corey woke up from a nap, feeling nauseated, slurring his speech, having trouble breathing, and stumbling around. Christopher called Brianna to say that he was going to take him out to the hospital. Shortly after, Christopher was seen on CCTV footage in the hospital lobby, carrying Corey's limp body up to the front desk. Hospital staff reported that he seemed emotionless, simply leaving Corey, returning briefly, and then leaving the hospital again. A nurse on duty at the time said that Corey was taking dire, almost end-of-life breaths, even saying that Corey showed no signs of being verbal. She said that his head simply fell backward as he was brought into the examination room. He was an all-hands-on-deck situation, she said. Corey was taken in to have a CT scan, but during the scan he suffered a massive seizure, leaving him on the edge of life and death. As the hospital staff began measures to bring Corey back to life, Christopher casually walked out of the room, leaving him to pass away surrounded by strangers. He was officially pronounced dead shortly after. Hospital staff came out to tell Christopher what had happened, leading to a brief showing of emotion. However, shortly after, Christopher simply got into his car and drove away from the hospital. The police were called to come out. They had asked the doctors what exactly happened to the boy, but even they were a little stumped at the time. They were only able to tell the police that they think he passed away from internal bleeding, but nothing was really sure yet. And for a while, this would be the case. Later on, an autopsy was performed, showing that Corey had passed away from a combination of blunt force injuries, cardiac and liver contusions, acute inflammation, and sepsis, likely resulting from the multiple hard falls on the treadmill. 3 months later, the police were able to find this out for themselves, coming across the surveillance footage from the gym. As a result, they arrested Christopher on charges of child neglect out in Tennessee. Upon arrest, he blamed Corey's mother, telling the police, if he didn't have a drug addict mother, then he'd still be alive. That's been going through my head this whole drive. She's a special kind of dirtbag.
Sandy Toad?
Share in one of our capable SUVs. Visit your local Kia dealer. Lease the new 2024 Sorento LX for $289 a month.
No, I'm good.
However, things wouldn't end there. In September of 2021, a forensic pathologist came to determine that Corey's death should be listed as homicide due to chronic child abuse, theorizing that the injuries from the treadmill may have not been the only ones at play, even citing that he may have been hit on the day that he died. Then, in March of 2022, Christopher Greger was finally arrested on a charge of murder. Due to how strange the treadmill aspect of this case was, the case quickly made headlines around the United States. When two girls in their young teens became friends and eventually got into a relationship, their text messages grew darker and darker. Finally, they came to discuss murder. Murder of a family member. Right now, I would like to thank the sponsor of today's video, The Quick Companies. It is available books and cursing. To be fair, some of them out there are talking about things much more sinister, and you might not even know what that thing is until it's already too late for you. Anna Schrader was born on July 3rd of 2002. Anna, her sister Kayleen, and their brother were born to a pretty bad mother from different fathers. The mother wasn't known for being great at taking care of the kids. She would often dump them off on whoever she could. One day, she got the idea to hire a babysitter to come watch them, knowing that she had no intention of ever picking them up again. The babysitter continued to care for the kids, but by the time they had been with her for 48 hours, she knew something was up. To make matters worse, the brother needed to be fed with a feeding tube, and this babysitter wasn't even shown how to do it. So the 5-year-old Kayleen had to help her out. Seeing how wrong this was, the babysitter called the cops. It goes without saying that CPS got involved, and soon enough, all the siblings were put into foster care.
Let's go. What are we doing? Ah! Dwight, you good? Welcome. Thank you. What are you doing? Hi. What? No, bro, no. No. No.
Enter Daryl and Peggy Schrader. They had been trying to conceive for quite some time with no luck. Over the years, they had a few failed pregnancies and even some failed IVF treatments. Completely out of luck, they decided to try fostering some kids with the intention to adopt. When they applied, they were licensed, but for 2 kids only. It wasn't too long before they got a call about Anna and her siblings. On March 17th, 2004, when Anna was 2 and Kayleen was 5, the kids and the parents met for the first time. Unfortunately, due to their license, the Schraders could only pick 2 of the kids. After thinking on it for a while, they picked the 2 girls. Ever since that day, the 2 girls never left their custody. Eventually, they fully adopted them. Anna was a quiet kid. She had a few friends growing up, but they came and went, nothing serious. This didn't help with her abandonment issues. As she got older, her relationship soured a bit with her sister. When she started kindergarten, her parents realized she was having some serious emotional issues. They got some professional help for her, and she began getting some medication for ADHD when she was about 5 years old. When Anna was in 5th grade, Daryl and Peggy decided to get divorced. Anna took it very hard. She ended up failing 5th grade and got held back. She felt that she was the reason for divorce, although she wasn't even a factor. Nothing the parents said, however, could convince her otherwise. Initially, the parents had split custody, but Daryl and Kayleen's relationship had gotten much worse over time. Due to something unspecified that Kayleen had done, she was no longer allowed in Daryl's home. Anna wanted to stay with her sister, so she chose to primarily stay at Peggy's house in Morrison, Illinois. After Kayleen turned 18, she decided that she wanted to leave the house and got out as quickly as she could. Even though Anna and Kayleen didn't really get along, Anna still wanted her to be around, so she had a hard time dealing with this. Anna got more quiet and stayed in her room more often. She did have friends, but she had a hard time sticking with them. She tried taking dance classes, but they ended up more or less the same, with Anna changing studios multiple times before finally giving up. What she really wanted was someone who would stick around, someone she could confide in. Anna eventually met a girl named Rachel Helm. Anna was always kind of more of a follower. She went with the flow, doing what her friends wanted to do and failing to speak up for herself much of the time. Rachel was very much the opposite, being more the domineering, assertive type. While the two started out as friends, their relationship gradually developed into something more romantic. That stage of teenage experimentation began, and the two got more close. Daryl eventually started dating a woman named Michelle in 2016. While they weren't married yet, they were effectively a married couple. Anna actually loved her new stepmom, and it seemed things were on the upswing, but not for long. Over time, Anna had gotten more depressed and less confident. At some point in time, she tried to end her life by slashing her arms multiple times. She ended up being taken to the hospital, where her parents came out to meet her. At the hospital, Peggy, Daryl, and Michelle came to a discussion about what they would do about Anna. This was when Rachel walked into the hospital with her mother. Rachel pushed past the family, firmly stating, "Hi, Anna wants me here," although Anna hadn't been in the condition to call her out there. Anna's family got a lot more serious about her mental health after that incident, but the problem was Anna's doctors changed over and over again, leaving the family with no choice but to re-explain the whole thing and basically start over each time. This made making some real progress pretty difficult. By this time, all of the parents noticed that Anna and Rachel were appearing more as girlfriends than friends. They discussed how to deal with the budding romance behind closed doors. While none of them necessarily opposed the relationship, they did decide to impose some normal teenage rules.
Okay.
For example, if the girls were at each other's homes, they wouldn't be allowed in the bedroom with the door shut.
Okay.
After all, they were 14 and 15 years old.
Okay.
When the new rules came about, Rachel took them much harder than Anna did. She felt that Peggy didn't approve of their relationship, despite the fact that they were allowed to date. She was pretty infuriated that the two wouldn't be having any bedroom time together. The two girls began to feel that Peggy was purely against their gay relationship, despite the fact that Daryl imposed the same rules upon them. Anna was in a pretty bad place, mentally and emotionally.
I'll be right back.
She tended to confide all of
keep
the problems
listening
to Rachel as she became her rival. Rachel, smart as she was, didn't always have Anna's best interests in mind. She fantasized about running away together, away from Peggy, and living happily ever after. Rachel continued to fear that Peggy didn't or wouldn't accept the relationship. She and Anna would text about this frequently over texting and social media. One night, Anna expressed her dark desires for the first time, saying, "I've actually thought about killing my mom. Please don't think I'm crazy." To her surprise, Rachel responded with, "I could help," adding, "I hate that bitch. No offense. I want to kill her just so I can have you. Then we can stay at the house together." Later on, Anna returned to the topic. She asked for advice, saying, "I don't know how to do it, Rachel. Tell me your ideas. Lol." Rachel then suggested that Anna put some poison in her food, suggesting that they tried either meat or drink.
Wait, what characters come back to?
Concern wasn't really the romantic part of the relationship. It was the physical part. After all, the two were allowed to date. They just weren't allowed to be in a bedroom together. She made this more clear
a young age,
texts, such as one that reads, "I can't stand this. She needs to die soon. I can't take not seeing you. It hurts. But when she dies and it's over with, I can do something. Something equals Anna without getting caught." Over the few months they were together, they began to really lean into the plan to poison Peggy. Anna said that she would leave a note on the counter saying that she was going to run away. felt that if the police were to see this, they would assume that Peggy had ended her own life due to the sadness of Anna being gone. By the end of June of 2017, the messages related to killing Peggy were becoming more and more frequent, taking up a good portion of the time the two spent talking. During this time, Anna decided to do some research online. She made the age-old mistake of making her intentions clear within her Google searches, hitting up queries like, does someone die when shot in the head? Children killing their parents? Daughters who kill moms? And simply, how to kill someone. On June 30th at around midnight, Rachel once again made her intentions very clear. When Anna said that she wanted to meet up, she sent a message that simply said, I will, but your mom has to be dead or gone, sadly. We can't meet up until your mom is gone, 'cause I would fuck you a lot.
Whoa!
A few days later, on July 3rd, Anna turned 15 years old. She hung out with her father and Michelle, having a small get-together of a birthday party not unlike any other. Nobody really thought anything was wrong, aside from her depression, which had already been continuing for months, even years at this time.
Right.
Nobody would have ever expected what was going to happen within the next few days.
That's one beautiful neighborhood.
July 6th, 2017. Peggy Schrader was coming home from work just like any other day. Recently, she had been working a side job in addition to her main job in order to save up a little extra for the kids.
Okay.
Coming home exhausted, she was surprised to see Anna greet her at the door, seeming chipper. Anna told Peggy that she had a surprise for her, urging her to sit down in the living room. Peggy sat down in the chair, wondering what kind of gift awaited her. Anna told her not to peek before putting a towel over her face. Anna then pulled out her mother's gun, a .38 special revolver that she managed to get her hands on. While Peggy awaited her surprise, Anna pulled the gun up to her head and fired right between her eyes. Peggy fell to the ground on the living room floor as blood seeped out all over the room. Anna then began to panic, barely able to breathe. The first thing she did was pick up the phone and call Rachel. She told her that it was done. She finally did it. At first, Rachel didn't believe her, thinking it was just a joke. Anna quickly ended that suspicion by sending a photo of her mom's recently murdered dead body on the floor. Rachel said she was still afraid that this was all a joke, but Anna swore it was true. Rachel said it better not be a joke. Rachel really wanted her mother to be dead. Anna said, I love you so much, saying that she was starting to calm down. Rachel then returned the affection. She expressed that she wished she could have been there with Anna when she did it. However, Rachel was taking it easy at the moment, chilling at Wendy's with her family. She said that she couldn't break away right now, but she would come over later. She tried to reassure Anna by saying that, until that point, she could keep texting her the whole time at least. She urged Anna to calm down, but nothing was really working. Rachel then assured her that she would just eat more quickly. Anna said that she felt she was going to be sick, with Rachel responding, I'm gonna be there soon. Go to the bathroom then. Anna expressed fear that someone would see the body, that she would be caught, that her dad and Michelle would never speak to her again. Rachel replied once more, telling Anna that she wouldn't get caught, that she was on her way to help. Strangely, she added that she might be, quote, laughable upon arriving because she was about to take ibuprofen for her cramps, adding, so don't get weirded out if I see your mom and start laughing. To which Anna simply responded, okay. Rachel then continued, saying, I'm sad that you're upset, but I would be too. I can't wait to see you. Before asking, so what are we going to do with the body again? Anna said, I feel like I need to tell Michelle or my dad. Rachel then said, Anna, don't. You'll go to jail. Promise me, whatever you do, you can't tell anyone. Once Rachel was good and done with her Wendy's, her mom agreed to give her a ride out to Anna's house. Rachel told Anna to be outside when they arrived. Once the two pulled up to the home, Anna and Rachel started talking outside until Rachel's mom got bored and left, a ploy to keep her from entering the house. Once the coast was clear, the two girls walked into the living room. Rachel was happy to see Peggy's body on the floor of the living room, surrounded by a pool of blood. The two then discussed how they were going to clean up the scene and dispose of the body. They spent the rest of the night trying to clean the blood out of the carpet without having much luck. To make things a bit more bearable, they decided to move Peggy's body from the living room into her bedroom. They placed her on the floor and covered her with a sheet. Needing a little bit of a break, the two girls left the home and headed out to a local Subway to get some sandwiches. Anna Anna, having no appetite, went to the bathroom to throw up while Rachel chowed down. Around this point, Anna heard on the phone that her father was coming into town. She felt that she couldn't face him after what she did. They discussed disguising themselves and running away together. The two girls then headed over to a convenience store nearby. Peggy's own debit card in hand, they bought some more cleaning supplies along with some hair dye to change up their looks. They came back to the house and continued to try to clean up the carpet, but they couldn't completely get the blood out. The idea of running away started to seem like their best bet as they faced the reality that hiding all of this wasn't going to be as easy as it was in the movies. Anna dyed her hair black while Rachel went for red. After trying to clean for a little longer, they went to bed. They woke up the next morning and filled up their backpacks with necessities. They decided that they had no option left but to burn the entire house down. There was no way that they could clean up the whole mess and manage to hide the body. After that, they figured they would run. So the two girls went into Peggy's bedroom. Rachel took the lead and started to set fire to the room. However, even this wasn't going so well. She couldn't seem to get the fire going. After quite a while, she finally managed to light the sheet covering Peggy's body and some linen on the bed. Then the two took their leave. The girls made their way over to Kelly Park. There they threw Peggy's phone in a park trash can. Then they walked northwest to a graveyard and disposed of the gun there. However, instead of running away together as planned, the two decided to part ways there. Once again, running away sounded easy on paper, but it wasn't so easy to put into practice. Rachel went back to her mom's house, and Anna went back to stay with her dad. It wasn't too long after Peggy's neighbors started to smell a strong scent of burning plastic that they called 911. An off-duty firefighter was actually in the area and started the process of breaking the door down and stopping the fire. Once the police arrived...
Blue Ghetto. I know where you're messing up already. Do I? I messed that one up big time. getting hit for?
arrived at a small home, it seemed like nothing more than a standard house fire while the occupants were out. That was until they discovered Peggy's body within the home. The neighbors were shocked once they heard what had happened, saying, "She was a good person, and it's a tragedy what happened. You definitely don't expect it, especially just next door." Anna was already regretting what she had done. She wrote a final message to Facebook, saying, "I don't even know if you can see me right now, but if you can, I just want you to know that you were my best friend. I wasn't always the best daughter, and I'm so sorry. I love you so much, Mom. I just want you to know, and I'll never forget you." Rachel set her backpack down at her home, still filled with food, necessities, and Peggy's debit card, along with some of her belongings. She sat down for a bit before blowing up and confessing the entire thing to her mother. Her mom, in shock, couldn't think of anything to do but to take her down to the police department. They went down to the Whiteside County Sheriff's Department, where Rachel got a good bit of questioning. She told the police everything, giving them the location of Peggy's phone and the gun used in the murder. Not even 12 hours after the fire was set, Rachel was arrested. She told the police where Anna was as well, and soon enough tracked her down to her dad's house in Walnut and took her in too. By 2 a.m. on July 9th, both girls were formally taken into police custody, a juvenile detention center, all ready to await their trials. Anna's sister, Kayleen, reacted with disbelief. She spoke out to the media herself.
"She's never been known to be violent or to just burst into moods like this. I don't know what was going through her mind. She gave us a second chance at life. She just threw away her life and my mom."
For the time being, the future of the two girls was really up in the air. Daryl and Michelle were left wondering what fate awaited Anna, while also left to grapple with the fact that she had killed her own mother, their ex-wife and friend.
"I will never forgive you."
What's this?
"This is not what you think."
"Why are you holding her hand?"
Wait, let me read you the title. He killed his daughters for...
That his American-born...
He killed his daughters for dating a man. He killed his daughters for dating an American man. All-American man. How can you accidentally put a baby in the oven? Whoa, I need to see more of this.
Girls haven't been attracted to me.
The man you're looking at is 22-year-old YouTuber Elliot Rodger. This video is one of many he recorded lamenting his obsession with his love life, or lack thereof. Although his growing anger went ignored, there were countless other red flags throughout Elliot's life that he was plotting something horrific. But no one could have ever predicted just how disturbing his true thoughts were.
Well, this is my last video.
Or how far he would go to seek his retribution.
Tomorrow is the day of retribution.
But if you think you knew just how disturbing his thoughts were, think again. Through since-removed homemade videos, many that have never been seen before, you'll soon learn the rabbit hole goes deeper than you think.
Guys like this.
In the infamous case of Elliot Rodger.
We are looking for gamers who want to become video game testers, designers, or programmers.
911, what's the address of emergency? I need that, please. I think somebody else is on the line. Okay. I don't know what's happened. Okay. Were you injured? Were you injured? Okay, where are you? Somebody else is. We're at Ivy Deli in Isle Vista. Okay, you're at Ivy Deli and somebody shot? Yeah. Okay.
The frantic 911 call you just heard was made after someone witnessed a terrifying encounter at a local restaurant in Santa Barbara, California. Minutes before, the well-known eatery was filled with hungry college students set on having a late-night snack. But unbeknownst to the customers, a vicious and diabolical killer was heading their way, who would soon haunt the vulnerable college town.
Hey, Elliot Rodger here. Just took a nice walk in the park. Check out that sunset. Today I'm at the golf course. Though I don't actually play golf, I only come here to admire the whole beauty and serenity of the place. It's one of the few places where I can come and truly have a sense of escape. It's my place of refuge. The sunlight's about to fade, so I'll end this video soon. Yeah. Childhood. It all has to come to this. I'm 22 years old. I'm still a virgin. I've never even kissed a girl.
I'm 21. I haven't kissed a girl. I'm still a virgin. So what? Some guys, some men nowadays, or kids nowadays, think that in order for your life to be complete, you need to have sex. No, you fucking don't. Moving on.
You forced me to suffer all my life, and now I'll make you all suffer. I've waited a long time for this. I'll give you exactly what you deserve, all of you. All you girls who rejected me and looked down upon me, and all of you men for living a better life than me, all of you really active men. I hate you. I hate all of you. I can't wait to give you exactly what you deserve.
To truly understand how he came to commit such an atrocity, we have to start at the beginning. Before moving to America, the Rodgers lived a simple life in London, and they embarked on thrilling trips around the world. Elliot recalled his childhood as memories of happiness and bliss, recollections that would soon be overshadowed by anger and indignation. He enjoyed activities typical that of a young boy: skateboarding, video games, playing outside, and reading.
Okay.
So how did this seemingly normal kid transform into a vicious mass murderer?
Elliot Rodger here. And here I am at Serrania Park, the most significant place of my childhood. I wish I could be a kid again. Those were the happy years, and I could just live my life without realizing how cruel the world really is.
According to Leach and Rodger, Elliot's mother, Elliot was a withdrawn and shy child growing up, who enjoyed hanging out with his friends and family.
My mom just ordered me the book I've been waiting for so long. This is so awesome. I'm gonna read it now.
He would often write down what he wished to say, rather than speaking aloud, possibly indicating that Elliot had developed social anxiety from an early age.
Okay.
After moving to America at the age of 5, Elliot's parents enrolled him in a private school where he made his first friend in the States, a young girl in the same class. Looking back, it was very ironic that his first friend after the move was a girl, considering that she would quickly become everything that Elliot despised.
My parents used to always take me here when I was a kid. Back when my life was happy and fair. Back when I thought the world was fair. How naive I was. I was only an innocent child.
Although Elliot would come to hate many people, his love for his family would remain.
Okay.
However, a few months after Elliot's 7th birthday, he was saddened to hear that his parents would be getting a divorce.
Oh.
Following the split, Peter Roger, Elliot's father, introduced Elliot to a woman named Sumaya, his soon-to-be stepmother. Although Elliot thought it was very sudden that his father had found a new girlfriend, Elliot admired him for acquiring a fresh relationship as quickly as he did. This is when Elliot's mindset switched. He came to believe that being attractive meant you would achieve more in life, something he would continue to believe for the rest of his life.
That's not the case, y'all. It's never the case.
At the age of 9, Elliot developed strong feelings of jealousy and envy. He would become angry if one of his friends played with someone else, and did not like the idea of sharing. Although this can be typical of young children, these intense emotions would eventually dictate Elliot's state of being for the remainder of his life.
This is my usual sunset spot. Mainly because there's rarely any young couples here that I would get jealous of.
He craved attention, and thought that if he dressed in fashionable clothes and bleached his hair, that his status in the so-called hierarchy would ascend. But as time went on, Elliot found himself to be an outcast.
I've been cast out. No one likes me. No one accepts me. All my life I've been struggling to fit in with the popular kids. I've been struggling to get a girlfriend. No one has ever accepted me.
In an attempt to help the young child, Elliot's parents began taking him to psychiatrists. These visits became routine throughout Elliot's life. But unfortunately, no one was able to prevent the horrific events.
Oh, you lucky. Shut. Not gonna make the same mistake again, I. Come on, man. Off of it. Did you go? Oh, hell no.
Elliot's life, but unfortunately, no one was able to prevent the horrific events to come.
Hey, Elliot Roger here. I'm sitting in my car, making another entry in my collection of vlogs. Ever since I hit puberty, I've wanted girls. I've desired girls. I've been sexually attracted to girls. But they've never shown any attraction back to me.
Elliot stated that his joyful existence came to a halt during his ascendance into puberty.
Well, y'all, I'm gonna end it here. Hope y'all enjoyed, and y'all have a great one.